Today, I'll be introducing to you the most effective way for your organization to reach that 100% of your users with analytics. Now, before I start, let's quickly run through a poll that we'll sort of see which applications are used by our audience the most throughout their daily work routine. So Meta, if you could run that poll for me right now, and then we'll see what the results are.
Yes, the poll is out. So let's see what the results are in a couple of seconds. So I have a very obvious winner here. It's 100% email.
Okay, I see. That's interesting. So we have people using email mostly. That's okay. Well, I guess that was sort of to be expected. Although I kind of imagined other applications to be also present during in the answers, but okay, we can deal with that. So as you can see, business applications are not the main thing that people use to get their answers. They're sitting in their email. So since this is not the obvious choice for everyone, how do you bring these analytics to all and every single person in the organization if they're stuck in their emails all the time rather than being in their business intelligence application? Well, imagine that on top of, well, email and all the other applications, which were mentioned during the poll, but apparently we have audience that only uses email, you could combine insight from across different data systems and databases and different departments without needing to switch screens. Imagine that you have data and answers integrated with all these applications together with built-in workflows. And I'm not talking about just email. I'm talking about all the applications that you could possibly imagine using everyday work that you're doing. Well, let me tell you something incredible. You don't need to imagine this. You can make it a reality, and you can make this a reality today because it actually exists. And we call it HyperIntelligence. It delivers zero-click insight and actions into the tools that you use every day in just seconds. So every employee can make data-driven decisions and take data-driven actions in real time. So you may ask, what is HyperIntelligence? Well, HyperIntelligence are these interactive cards that integrate with websites and web applications that you already use in your daily activities. They provide analytical insight in crisp, easy to consume way, making every employee more informed. Additionally, by providing contextual links, they allow users to take the next best action for key workflows with just one click. And the cards themselves are built on a data layer that ensures you're always having the most accurate and up-to-date insights when making those real-time decisions. And on the topic of the real-time decisions, currently only 3% of real-time business decisions are actually based on data. And even for decisions that are not in real time, only about 20% of employees have access to analytics that they require. Well, why is that the case, you may ask? Well, we can summarize the causes for these in the 3 simple steps that include time, expertise, and trust. And now, if we take a look for time, you've probably experienced in many different business decisions, people just don't have time to look for the data that they need to make that informed decision. Because oftentimes information is not accessible in an easy to use or an easy to find location. So what happens when you can't find the data, but you need to make a decision quickly? You rely on your instincts. And that's actually what happens most of the time. For expertise, most BI tools and other reporting applications through which you usually find data that you need are very difficult and complex tools to learn and use. And most of the time, the learning curve is so steep that it's difficult to learn to conduct this self-service analytics to be able to get the insights that you're looking for. And finally, for trust, oftentimes each department or each team collects and stores the data in different systems. And with so many disparate systems, it's possible to get one answer from one system and a completely different answer to that exact same question from another system. In this kind of situation, which one can be trusted? It's difficult to choose without knowing what's happening in the backend that actually led to these different answers. And understanding why there is data discrepancy either takes too much time or too much expertise. So decision makers just end up losing trust in the data. According to McKinsey, data-driven organizations they tend to be 19 times more profitable than the ones that are instinct-driven. So how does HyperIntelligence help you go from that 3% to 100% of the decisions being data-driven? Well, by solving these three roadblocks. For time, HyperIntelligence brings relevant, contextual, zero-click insights into the applications that you use every day. So you can just hover over the underlying keywords to see the insight that you need without having to look for the data when making your real-time decisions. For expertise, HyperIntelligence cards are built using a drag and drop interface with absolutely no code so that anyone can build these cards in under an hour. And for trust, most importantly, HyperIntelligence is powered by MicroStrategy's secure and governed metadata-based semantic layer in which you can combine information from over 200 different data sources. This layer creates this singular data glossary for which everyone in your enterprise can be ensured that they only see one single and accurate version of the truth. So you may ask, how does HyperIntelligence work? Well, HyperIntelligence makes data easy. It comes with built-in connectors to those 200 different enterprise data sources so that you can pull in your data without any hustle and absolutely no code. Then you can build your card with a simple drag and drop interface. And all you need to do after is just to save the card for it to be ready and visible on top of the key enterprise applications that are used for every employee in their day-to-day activities, on their websites and web applications, in their custom enterprise applications, in their productivity and collaboration tools, in Outlook for email, as we saw during the poll, is quite often the one that's the most used, and even on your mobile devices. HyperIntelligence is truly for everyone. The opportunities here are endless. If you've ever needed data to make a decision, and that is usually true for everyone, HyperIntelligence is there for you. So here on the screen, you will see some of the examples how HyperIntelligence can help your own enterprise. So are you in hospitality industry? Then you can take a look at this card. You can see guest reservation and membership status, and you can click to upgrade the guest reservation or to contact the guest directly. If you're in distribution, you can take a look at this card. You can track shipment metrics and information and then click to track the shipment in real time or redirect the shipment to a different location. Are you in sales or call center? Then you can take a look at this card. You can see customers' historical purchasing information at a glance, and with the option to set up an appointment with the customer or provide the customer with an offer in just one click away from here. And what about insurance? Well, you can make a card for that too. You can see information about insurance claim in just seconds without having to switch between screens. Then just click to approve or deny the claim, simplifying the overall flow to minutes instead of days. And retail? Well, you can make a card for that too. Here's a card which shows you the product detail so that you can take action to reorder or plan your product inventory with just one click. Now, let's take a look at what else HyperIntelligence can do for you and the different industries that you might be in. For sales, it allows to see complete customer information in everyday applications. It saves the accounts manager's time by presenting the next best step. It displays important data in sales apps and CRM tools without actually needing the ETL project. And it allows for business processes to be kept in a single application by connecting to action in operational systems. For retail, it allows to see information about products, store locations, distribution centers, vendors and suppliers, and much more. It also allows for barcodes and QR code scanning to see cards on mobile devices. And it allows to take action to reorder inventory, schedule distribution, relocate budget, and much, much more. And it's all directly from the card with this one click that links you to the relevant workflow. Similarly, for call center and HR, it allows to see complete customer information in everyday application. And for call center specifically, HyperIntelligence allows to save the call center's representative time by presenting the next best step for him. It displays important data in contact center apps and CRM tools, as I mentioned, without an EDL project needed. And it allows to focus more on customers by connecting everyday apps to actions in operational systems so that the customers don't have to wait and be put on hold as the information is being searched for. In HR, it gives leadership information and on the organizations that they lead. It allows to quickly see the employee insight for managers and HR business leaders. And finally, it encourages employee collaboration and overall engagement within the organization. And here are some more examples for finance and pharmaceuticals industries. HyperIntelligence allows to plan and manage finances effectively with cards like the ones you can see on the screen. It also allows to see information about healthcare providers and pharmaceutical sales representatives, all at a glance, as you can see. Now, you may be wondering what constitutes HyperIntelligence, or how do you actually make it possible? And most importantly, how complex is it? Well, good news is that it's not complex at all. You can start an environment on your own without the need for the IT team in just minutes with no time delays whatsoever. And for the part that asks what constitutes HyperIntelligence, well, those are those 6 components that you can see on the slide right now. And I will go over each and every one of them in the following slides. Let's start with HyperIntelligence for Web, which is a Chrome extension or an Edge add-in that allows you to display HyperIntelligence cards on every website and web application that you can go whenever you're browsing using your browser of choice, or web browser of choice. It requires 0-click, which means that you can just hover over underlined keywords or numbers to see insight and click into contextual linking to key workflows. And then you can turn on HyperIntelligence for your web browser so that it scans your web pages and web applications and adds the underline to the key keywords on the web page so that you don't need to search for the answers. The answers themselves will find you. And if you want to make a decision even faster, you don't need to even hover, because you can set up HyperIntelligence to change the color of the underline based on a particular business measure. Let's think of a question that you might be asking whenever you have time to answer the question or to make a decision. And a question like this could be, for example, is it cost effective for me to restock a product for my organization? Well, you can just set up HyperIntelligence to show you which decision is best based on the color of the underline. So if you see one color, you know it's cost effective to restock. But if you see another color, you know it's not worth restocking. And it's all happening at the speed of light. Next is Microsoft Outlook. With just one add-in, HyperIntelligence scans your entire inbox for keywords and gives you cards to see as you browse through all of your emails. And here you can see analytics alongside your email collaboration. You can easily take action by clicking into relevant workflows, and you can respond to all the different requests with informed perspective based on the contextual information that you just got from the card itself. Now, Let's look at HyperIntelligence for mobile. With one mobile application, you can take the power of HyperIntelligence everywhere that you take your phone. With the app, you can search for keywords to see relevant cards and quick insight on the go. You can integrate the app with your calendar, for example, so that you get push notifications with cards full of context about the next meeting that you might be going to. You can also enable spotlight search for the apps so that you don't even need to open it to see the cards that you need at the current moment. And as you just saw in the demo on the screen, you can even scan barcodes and QR codes within the app to see relevant contextual cards to help you make the best decision possible. But how do you build these HyperIntelligence cards? Is that difficult? Well, not at all. In fact, in just under 30 minutes with MicroStrategy Workstation, you can connect to over 200 different data sources with built-in connectors to help you upload the data that you need with just point and click. No need for code and no need to upload and export and then put it all into MicroStrategy. Then you can build your card with a simple drag and drop in editor, which includes a pre-built template or many templates actually, so you don't need to build from scratch. But if you actually want to make it a little bit more custom and make your own design, you can also add and remove widgets at your own will. Next, you add security and controls so that you can make it more secure. You can imagine you have regional managers and you want them to only see cards for their respective regions. You can do that simply by point and clicking to ensure that the data is secure from within the card. And don't worry, even without that single step, MicroStrategy has strong, tested, built-in security so that you can rest assured your data is always safe. And then simply add an email address into Workstation or copy a card as an image to share the card and the insight it provides with your team or the entire organization. And finally, if you want to know what your enterprise analytics adoption is, well, then you can just go and click on the platform analytics section in Workstation, and you can immediately see how your cards are being used and viewed throughout the entire organization. So yes, all of that can be created in just 30 minutes. But what exactly can you put on a card, you may ask? Again, good news, as almost anything and everything you can imagine can be a part of a HyperIntelligence card. Do your data scientists build AI models or machine learning models to make recommendations for your decision makers? Well, you can show those on the cards so that everyone and anyone can benefit from the power of AI and machine learning in real time on every tool that they use. You can add KPIs and other information in the form of lists and grids or ring charts. You can also add images to visually show to people what the card is all about. You can also enable contextual linking so that people can quickly go to the relevant workflow that's the next best step for them to take. And as you may have noticed earlier, each card header, the card header, can have the same color as the underline, so that you know that the answer you're looking at already has all the information that you need. Well, as I mentioned earlier, with just this point and click, you can add thresholds to your business measures so people don't even need to wait for the speed of hover, because already by looking at the color of the underline, they know if there is a positive or a negative thing behind it, all at the speed of light. Awesome. So now that you know how and what to put on a card, how much is actually possible with this drag and drop interface? It's so simple. You may ask, are there any limitations to this? And well, from my end, a good news is that there are basically no limitations. As I mentioned earlier, with HyperIntelligence, the opportunities are endless. Do you want a tall card or a compact sized card? Well, we can do both. Do you want a picture? No problem, you can add it. Do you want just numbers or just text on your card? We can do either of these. How about any color that you could possibly imagine? Well, we have all the colors possible. With that one single drag and drop interface, you can truly show insights in almost every possible format that you can imagine. And the cards that you're seeing on the screen are just some of the examples of what I'm talking about. Now, you may be wondering if it's actually possible to also empower your own customers with HyperIntelligence. Well, I can tell you wonder no more, because that is also possible. Through white labeling with absolutely no code, you can fully customize the HyperWeb extension for your own brand. You can personalize the look and feel of the extension for Chrome and for Edge with your own logos and your own text. And then you can deploy the extension to the Google Chrome Store or the Microsoft Edge Store for your customers to download and see your HyperIntelligence card anywhere they go on the web, including your own websites. And speaking of your own websites, you can actually embed HyperIntelligence in your own web applications with just few simple lines of JavaScript code. So your customers or your employees don't even need to download an extension to see the power of HyperIntelligence on your own custom applications. If you want to know more about how MicroStrategy Insight can be embedded or about OEM partnership possibilities, you can stay tuned for the next session that's coming up. So now, if you were to buy HyperIntelligence, you can get access to all of these different resources to help you along your HyperIntelligence journey. You can get partnership of world-class certified enterprise support and consulting service experts to solve all the different challenges for HyperIntelligence and beyond. You can also get a comprehensive catalog of courses and certifications to enable all the user personas, ranging from analysts and administrators through architects and analyst directors alike. And then with the free MicroStrategy community site, you can explore tutorials, access expert written knowledge-based articles, get step-by-step instructions and product documentation, or ask and answer questions in our global community of MicroStrategy users. And finally, you will have a dedicated MicroStrategy account executive to help your enterprise throughout your MicroStrategy journey. Now, if you are curious and want to know more and try out HyperIntelligence, you can reach out to us at info@microstrategy.com, and then we can help you explore how to best incorporate HyperIntelligence in your enterprise. Or alternatively, if you want to get started right away, you can just go to www.microstrategy.com/hyperintelligence to start up your HyperIntelligence and try out building the cards in less than a minute with our 90-day free trial. All right, so that would be me for today. Thank you for your attention. I hope I was able to shine a bit of light on how HyperIntelligence accelerates the overall analytic user adoption throughout each and every enterprise. And now I would like to open the floor for Q&A. I know that there were some questions answered during the presentation in the chat, but if there are any other ones outstanding, I'm happy to take them now. So Nick, do we have any questions?
Yeah, hey, Mikhail. Yeah, I've got a few questions for you. So
awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Peter would like to know, are other browsers, you've mentioned Chrome and Edge, are other browsers also supported? Are they also possible?
So as for my knowledge, right now we're only supporting Chrome and Edge. Others are thought of, but as of right now, these are only these two which are possible.
I guess I'd also add that if you go with the SDK, then pretty much any browser. So,
yeah, obviously.
That's a specific use case, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you want to use an extension, then just two, but you can always embed it yourself for your own websites, and then it will work with any browser. Indeed.
Sure. Okay. I've got a few more. Steve says, HyperIntelligence seems like a great solution, and you're saying it's incredibly easy to create and deploy. is there any way in which we can see this being done?
Okay, well, yes, of course, because we have a dedicated section on our website, which is all about HyperIntelligence. And it has live examples as well as videos that will run you through and guide you through how do you create your first card. And you should find that section either by just Googling HyperIntelligence or going to microstrategy.com/hyperintelligence. Or a third way, I guess, you can download this presentation where on slide, I believe 7, you have a link to that section as well. And also we have a workshop coming up, which is all about creating your HyperIntelligence cards, which is gonna happen at 1:45 p.m., where Chantel will elaborate and guide you through the entire process. So if you have a need like that, I encourage you to go there and participate.
Okay, I've got a couple more questions here on my list.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so Helen says, you say that HyperIntelligence can be displayed over any web application. So does that mean you have partnerships with a wide range of companies so that you can be confident that it will cover them all? So if a new application gets released, how can we be sure it'll work?
Okay, so this is sort of more a technical question. So to answer this, I could try to explain quickly how HyperIntelligence plugin works. So it doesn't actually integrate with the existing applications in the way that it becomes a part of it. What it does, it displays content over those applications or websites. So it just scans the HTML code that's being displayed, looking for these relevant keywords. And when it finds it, it just creates or amends the HTML code to add that highlight, and then you can hover over to get your insight. So no matter if the application is old or new, as long as it's HTML based, the Hyper is going to be able to find the keywords and display the information over it.
Okay. I've got one more question for you. So Max here, he says, how does HyperIntelligence deal with security? Seems like you can display a lot of internal data through a card. Mm-hmm. How can I be sure that unwanted information doesn't get shown to people?
Okay, yeah, great question. Security is always a big aspect. And because HyperIntelligence is built on the MicroStrategy platform, and it's also held to the same security and governance standards that all of our products. And data that is shown through the extension is only available if a user successfully authenticates into the MicroStrategy platform, which covers all the different security features that we have in our platform, which include the object control, feature privileges, as well as the row level security. So overall, you can rest assured that users, when logging in, will only see the relevant information that has been assigned to them particularly. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Mikhail.